Greetings and blessings and greetings, blessed souls. It's done to good when we're live from Kessekron Heights. It's Lamed Nisan, the last day of the blessed month of Nisan. 5,707 years blazing and grazing into the creation. And according to the English calendar, we would be standing on April 14th, 2010. This is part 3 of The Wise Will Shine, Gleaning from a teaching from Lubovitcher Rebbe, Menachem Mendel Schneerson, direct descendant of King David and Solomon, who 50 years ago delivered a discourse about Moshiach, the Messiah, and what we should understand the Moshiach's role will be at the time of redemption, and what will be the nature of elevation that will be recognizable within the nation of Israel, and how the Bnei Noach will recognize Bnei Yisrael. With that being said, blessed souls, the concept of maskilim, the wise. I think on the first two segments I gave examples of who are in the category of wise. Well, ultimately the wise are those who have das, sensitivity to revelations of godliness. And one great example of one of the wise of Israel is King David. King David is known from the many stories from the Torah Shabbat in the Tanakh, the written Torah, but in the proud and eternal and humble Torah Shabbat, oral tradition of Israel, there are also many teachings which give us better insight into who this man was, who he is for us of Israel and for the nations, because many of the nations do draw a lot of nurture and inspiration from King David, and who he will be at the time of redemption, when he, among the other righteous souls of creation, among Israel, as well as those of the righteous Bnei Noach, will resurrect in the time Kitzuran Shachne Afar. Those who sleep in the dust shall arise and sing songs of jubilation to the Most High for the restoration of life. So we know that according to the written oral traditions of Israel, which you can see, blessed souls, in a work called Sefer HaMitzvot, the Book of Commandments by Rambam, which is published by Mosnaim Publications, that there are in fact 613 commandments, which all have a scriptural basis in the written Torah. But King David, which as reported in the Talmudic tractate of Makot, was quoted as boiling down the 613 commandments into 11 fundamental principles, that if one can keep and be steadfast to these 11 principles, one can live a life which is truly called good, and will be able to educate others on a type of life which is truly good. So I'd like to go into those 11 principles. So King David taught, according to the oral tradition, that he condensed the 613 commandments to 11 fundamental principles. As it says, a Psalm of David, God, who may sojourn in your tent? Who may dwell on your holy mountain? 1. One who walks in perfect innocence. 2. Does what is right. 3. Speaks the truth from his heart. 4. Who has no slander on his tongue. 5. Who has done his fellow no evil. 6. Nor cast disgrace on his close one, referring to one's relatives. 7. In whose eyes a contemptible person is repulsive. 8. The one who honors those who fear the Most High. 9. One who stands by his oath, even to his detriment. 10. Who does not lend his money on interest. And 11. Who takes not a bribe against the innocent. As King David wrote, the doer of these shall not falter forever, which is a verse which you can see in Psalms chapter 15. Regarding one who walks in perfect innocence, this is referring to Abraham, as it says in Genesis 17:1, walk before me and be perfect. Who does what is right? Someone like Abba Chilkiah, speak truth in his heart, like someone like Rav Safra, two sages who are discussed in the Talmud. One who has no slander on his tongue. That was our father Yaakov. Jacob, as it says, Jacob said to his mother, suppose my father touches me, reveals that I am an impostor. And that was written in Genesis 27:12. Who has done his fellow no evil means that he does not go into competition with his fellow craftsmen. And cast disgrace on his close one refers to one who admonishes a misbehaving relative, and therefore, hopefully, will make them eventually a friend. in whose eyes a contemptible person is repulsive. That's an example of this was given of Cheskel Melech, Hezekiah, king of Judah, Melech Yehuda, who dragged his father's bones, Ahab or Achav, his bones on a bed of ropes, treating his contemptible father with disdain. Who honors those that fear the Most High. That was Jehoshaphat, who was the Melech Yehuda, king of Judah, who wherever he saw a Torah scholar, rose from his seat and embraced and kissed him, calling him Father, Father, Rebbe, Rebbe, Teacher, Teacher, who stands by its oath, even to his detriment, like Rabbi Yochanan, who once said, I'll remain fasting until I come home, and swore to mortify himself by undertaking a voluntary fast, who does not lend his money on interest, not even interest from an idol worshipper. He does not take a bribe against the innocent, like Rabbi Yishmael ben Yossi. There are many other examples, blessed souls, but I just want to make you aware, King David and these type of 11 principles are part of the proud oral tradition of Israel. That being said, we've taken the majority of the time for this video talking about the virtues of one maskil, one person of great connection to the Most High. We must remember that from this teaching of the Rebbe, there is a prophecy in the prophet Micah, Micha, chapter 7, verse 15, where it's written, like in the days of your going out of Egypt, I will show them wonders, that the completeness of freedom of going out of Egypt was at the time of the splitting of the Red Sea, as it is written in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 30. And the Lord, the Most High, delivered Israel on that day from the hands of the Egyptian. And Israel saw the Egyptians dead on the shore, the seashore. Israel beheld the mighty hand from which the Lord wielded against the Egyptians, and the people feared the Lord and believed in the Lord and in Moses his servant. Unfortunately, there's those who hate of Israel, who don't understand Israel. Why should we then give praise to the Most High for the smiting of the Egyptians? Well, we give praise to the Most High for the smiting of the Egyptians, which was an unfortunate event because they didn't do tshuva, they didn't return to the Most High as well with us, is that they were coming to destroy us as a nation at that one point as we lay trapped with the Dead Sea, not the Dead Sea, the Red Sea, Yam Suf, to our backs. And after the great miracles that Israel saw, that the Egyptians dead upon the seashore, there's a verse that continues, Az Yashem Moshe uvnei Yisrael es ashir hazos l'Adonai vayomru lemor ashiro l'Adonai ki go'o sus v'rochva v'roma v'yom. Then Moshe and the children of Israel sang this song to the Lord, and they declared, saying, I will sing to the Lord, for he is most exalted. The horse with its rider he cast into the sea. Now, there's a statement made from the tradition of oral Torah, blessed souls, that when Moshe and Israel started this song upon the Red Sea, upon seeing the conquering of the Egyptians, the question was it just a one-time song and a one-time celebration? However, it was mentioned before in the beginning segments of this series, The Wise Shall Shine, that there's two opinions about how maskilim, the wise, is that referring to the times after the revelation of the Moshiach, the Messiah, or even before? So that same type of reasoning applies to the song that Moshe and the children of Israel sang upon the miracle of being saved after the splitting of the Red Sea. There is one opinion that actually Moshe, who was of course a prophet of Israel, was actually singing about eventually the great song that will be sung at the time of the resurrection of those who sleep right now in the dust. And of course there's the obvious viewpoint that they sang upon the miracle of the splitting of the Red Sea and being saved from the hands of the pursuing Egyptians. So blessed souls, again, a lot has been put on the table. I see from the first segment to the second segment a lot less people are watching it. Perhaps these teachings, because I am trying to be a little more eclectic, a little more difficult at the same time too, not for the sense of being show-offy, but for the sake of showing people there's a great profundity in the oral Torah of Israel. Shalom everyone, peace, and let us continue in a peaceful, pleasant way.